Orlando has been one of the fastest growing metropolitan areas in the entire country for the past few years. But like I always say, real estate is hyper local. So I went over the past 3 hours diving into the data on the MLS to find out the 5 fastest growing cities in Central Florida and 2 of them that are starting to cool off. Stay tuned. Hey, I noticed a few of you guys still haven't subscribed yet, so hit the subscribe button as we're putting out videos every single week around real estate, theme parks, and living in Orlando. All right, so we're going to start in reverse order, but before I reveal number 5 on the cities that are having the most growth in Central Florida, let's talk about the methodology. I was looking at what was the average sales price that has increased or decreased over the past 365 days, and cities that had at least over 100 sales. So areas like Zellwood that had 4 homes that sold over the past year didn't count as much as the one that had the massive units sold. So number 5 is Sanford. Now Sanford is in the northeast area of Central Florida. It's got its own airport, great downtown area. There's a cute little German spot. I love Sanford for so many reasons, but it is a little bit farther away for a lot of people that want to be in the core of Orlando. It saw a 9.5% appreciation over the past year. The average sales price right now is $365,000, and the number of homes for sale has increased a very, very small amount, which is good for future appreciation. Coming in at number 4 is Windermere, Florida, and that's no surprise to anybody. Windermere is in a fantastic location. You've got a mix of luxury homes, some of the most expensive real estate in Central Florida, mixed with plenty of amazing neighborhoods that are very accessible, and so everything in between. The location's also fantastic because it's close to Disney or close to Dr. Phillips and a lot of cool stuff going on. So let's talk about the stats over the past year. The average sales price has gone up 10% and now sits at $720,000. There's currently 262 homes for sale, which is actually down 15% year over year. And when you see lower inventory, to me, that's an indicator of seeing a strong market. Number 3 is gonna surprise you, because it surprised me. It's actually Tavares, Florida. Now, Tavares is right north of Claremont and adjacent to Mount Dora, so it's really easy to see why this is a really popular area. And with the average sales price going up 9% year over year, it's still only $305,000, making it a really affordable submarket. There's 122 houses for sale right now, which is down 15% year over year when you're looking at overall supply. So we've got good demand and low supply. I think this bodes well for Tavares. Number 2 was not as surprising. It's Winter Park, and Winter Park is an amazing city unto itself. Incredible downtown area, and it's the most expensive real estate per capita in Central Florida. The average sales price in Winter Park is $837,000. Pricing went up 14% year over year, and there's currently a really low supply of houses at only 162 houses for sale, which is down 16% year over year. So there's still a lot of people flocking to Winter Park. The thing I love most about Winter Park is that everything there is a little bit different. You've got really high-end townhomes, you've got smaller, really well-done bungalows, all the way up to estates on the lake. Winter Park, number 2. The fastest growing city in all of Central Florida in terms of appreciation from year over year is Altamont Springs, up over 20%. Altamont's average sales price is now $535,000, and it's easy to see why. This place is right north of Winter Park. It's right off of I-4, and so you've got a lot of different shopping options, a lot of different housing options. It's also in Seminole County, so for people that are looking for Seminole County schools, it's a really great option. You're tucked away from the parks, but still not too far away from airports and downtown, and a lot of great things here in Central Florida. You might have noticed that I didn't talk about the 3 areas that I talk a lot about, which is Claremont, Winter Garden, and Lake Nona. They kind of came right in the middle of the list over the past year on an average sales price of a 3 to 4% appreciation. The reason they didn't grow as much as the other areas that I mentioned is because there's a lot of new construction options there still. So while the demand's there, new construction is keeping up with it pretty well. But 3 to 4% appreciation, that's still pretty good. All right, so let's talk about the 2 areas that are actually cooling off here in Central Florida. And to be honest with you, they both surprised me. The first one is Maitland. There's actually a 62% increase in overall inventory, and pricing there fell just under 3% to $409,000. Now, I love Maitland. It's one of my favorite areas in Central Florida because they've got mature trees, a lot of mature homes, but overall, there was just less demand there over the past year. The number 2 area that's actually seeing a cool off, and it shocked me, was Mount Dora. Now, Mount Dora has a super cute downtown. It's got a really good lakefront and a lot of new construction on the outskirts. So to see the property values fall 2% to 384 over the past year, I had to dive in a little bit more. Now, unlike Tavares and some of the other areas, there's actually a lot more new construction that's sold. And for the purposes of this video, we were really only looking at resale. So if there's not enough demand to eat up both the new construction and resale, this is what happens. We're starting to see a lot more inventory start stacking up in Mount Dora, which is great for buyers that want the immediate move in, but if you're looking for new construction, there's options there too. One last little nerdy stat that I dove past the last 20 years of data was to see how do we rank today versus the past 20 years as an overall health of market, if you will. How many homes for sale, average days on market, and it's actually almost exactly the same way as it was in early 2020. Before the pandemic broke out, January of 2020, we had very similar homes for sale and average days on market. So we're finally past the, I think, crazy times. Now, the big difference between today and back then is interest rates. Now, I do see a lot of demand still for what's going on, but I think that as interest rates pull back eventually, we're gonna see an even stronger market than we've seen over the past year. So if you're looking to buy or sell a house in Central Florida, my team and I, we'd love to be your real estate resource of choice. Email me, info@pozekgroup.com, and we'll see you guys on the next video.